taste it. Yeah. Jay.
The Congressional Budget Office report is a pretty dire warning about what this nation faces. And yet I didn't hear the President mention it yesterday. Is there a reason why?
Well, I think I put out a statement, and which is the White House's view and the President's view. The President talks every day that he's out there, as he was yesterday, about what we need to do to help build our economy, help it to continue to grow, help it to continue to create jobs. And yesterday and the day before, he was focusing on the need to continue investments in education, because he firmly believes that education is a matter of our economy, that it is an economic issue. And
so that's not really what the Congressional Budget Office was addressing. They were talking
about...
Sure,
about the...
But I heard the President, yes, the President talked about education, he talked about Todd Aiken, he talked about
Michael Jordan.
He
talks, as you know, all the time about what we need to do to, specifically to help the economy grow and create jobs, and his belief that we need to take a balanced approach to address the kinds of fiscal challenges that are necessary. I mean, the so-called fiscal cliff that the CBO report addressed, as you know, is being brought about by a vote of Congress with bipartisan majorities in each house to enact the Budget Control Act, and which the President signed into law.
Sure,
which is...
He's not an innocent bystander
No,
here. He's
I'm
the
not
President of the United
suggesting
States. I guess, here's the question. Do you think the President is showing as much economic leadership on this issue as he could be?
Yes, and I think that what I talked about in answer to an earlier question is that, look, we recognize that there's an enormous debate, a big conflict between the President and the Republican leadership in particular over whether or not we need to extend and in some plans give even greater tax cuts to the top 2% of American earners, the most well-to-do Americans. That debate is unlikely to be resolved between now and the election. The President talks about how in many ways the voters will help resolve it by the election. But what we can agree on, and this goes right to the issue of the fiscal cliff, is that we should absolutely extend tax cuts for 98% of Americans and 97% of American small businesses tomorrow, or the day that Congress gets back. And that would demonstrate to the American people and to people around the world that despite our differences on some very important issues, we can come together and do the practical thing and the sensible thing to help our economy grow, to avert some of the concern over the so-called fiscal cliff. And I think that would give people a lot of reassurance about the capacity of their leaders in Washington after the election to continue to address these challenges and to ensure that we don't have to, that the sequester does not come about, because it was never designed to take effect. It was designed to be so onerous that it would force action, and hopefully that will take place. But what we do know is that we agree on this. The middle-class tax cuts, which I think this is a little-known fact, are the single biggest component of the so-called fiscal cliff. If we pass that, that would have a very positive impact on both in the raw number sense, but also, I think, psychologically, because it would demonstrate that Washington is willing, and despite the partisan differences here, to do the right thing by the American people and by the American economy.